Hi everyone, Sailor Moon here, Serena, and Sailor Neptune, Sailor SeaWorld Michelle here. And today we're going to talk about, you know, about why we chose to be here, why we make a Sailor Moon Fairway. Now, the smooth answer would be that there wasn't no Sailor Moon Fairway. I mean, it isn't like how it is now, where there were a lot of folks doing it. I mean, in the beginning, when we first came on this website back in the truth is we seeked this website in 2006 YL, but we didn't make a reckoning until 2008 YL. And even during all that time, there wasn't no Fairway. There was no one doing this. If there was, well, we never saw them. So in 2008 YL, we chose to make a Fairway to do something at the time that we thought that no one else was doing. Now, some folks will bring up that, some folks will we're going to bring up that no one thought that it would work. Well, I don't know why folks weren't doing it, but I know why we chose to do it. That we were going to do something in the Sailor Moon followership that at the time no one else did. And yes, by 2020 YL, and even sometime after that, there was Sailor Moon Jacob, who showed up, and on and off over the years, he would do it. And then there would be some other folks that would do it, but they wouldn't do it as much as we would. And yes, I know folks are going to bring up the Tina Light Warrior Fighter and say that she does it. Yeah, but she tends to do not only rag dolls from Sailor Moon, but also from other drawing shows. Well, before any of them even did it, we were doing it. And you could say that we were the black sheep of the Sailor Moon followership for doing it. Not for any bad grounds. It wasn't something no one else was doing. No one else was coming on and was making films with Sailor Moon dolls, or at least, yeah. Nowadays that folks are doing that. And I'm not going to say I had anything to do with, having them do it, I mean, back in 2020 YL, it was Sailor Moon Jacob who even reached out to us and said, hey, I make some films like you. Would you like to watch some of them? Now, I'm not going to say I had anything to do with Jacob and what he was doing, what made him choose to do it. And I'm not going to say we had anything into anyone else doing it. But we did it because at the time, no one else was doing it. No one else was coming on and making films with Sailor Moon dolls, either Irwin, Bandai, whatever, or even with the rag dolls from Irwin. And this was before Great Eastern Glee got the rights to start making Sailor Moon rag dolls. So, there was no one else doing that. And that's why we chose to do it. And we were bullied and trolled for doing it too, And, but we did choose to do it, There was a need in a Sailor Moon followership that we thought needed to be done. You got anything to say about that? Yeah, I do, Sailor Moon. I do, Serena. At the end of the day, we thought it was something in a Sailor Moon followership that no one else was doing at the time, And we thought that we had an opening to start doing films with dolls in a way that no one else had done them before, or no one else was doing them before us. So we did what we thought hadn't been done in a Sailor Moon followership. And yes, over the years, other folks have come on and started doing it. But need be not the way we do it, and not every day like we do. Because back in 2008 YL, when we got the thought of making our first Fairway, no one was doing it. The nearest thing you got was someone giving their thoughts on the doll, but that was about it. So that was only it, you know. And yes, we don't get a lot of looking and watching for what we do. That's true, you know. And nowadays you do got folks doing it, but need be not every day, and need be not the way that we do it, you know. And that's why we do this, because there wasn't anyone on Euro or UA and the Sailor Moon followership doing it at the time, you know. And we were bold enough to do it, and we still are, you know, after so many other things we went through, you know. So, yeah. So now, yeah, and I don't want to say that we had, and I don't want to say that I gave folks the thought of doing it. I mean, sooner or later, someone would have come along and done it. But we were the first, I guess. But then again, it was a big website even back then, so your guess is good as mine. Maybe there were other folks doing it, and we just didn't know who their names were, or what their handle was, or whatever. You know? But we were the first one to do it. You know? At least in 2008 YL. And then other folks came along and they started doing it too. And I'm not saying, and I don't know if we had any sway over, you know, having them do it, or gave them the thought of doing it. And if we did, then that's great. You know. So that's why we made Sailor Moon Red, and Sailor Moon Red 1, and Sailor Moon's Best 1, Sailor Moon's Best 2, and Sailor Moon on YouTube, misspelled U, and then Sailor Moon Red 1, 2, 3, and Sailor Moon on Tube, yeah, and Sailor Moon 1, 2, 3, 4, and then Sailor Moon, you know, for life, which is a more greater name than Sailor Moon Way 11. So, that's why we do what we did. You're right, Sailor Neptune. You're right, Sailor Blue World. You're right, Michelle. That's why we make the films we made and why we started a Fairway way back in 2008 YL. And if you ask if any of those Fairways are around still, nope. One got hacked. After not even a year, got hacked. The other ones were flagged. A lot of them were flagged. You know. So, that's what happened to all those other ones out there. But that's why we do what we do. So if you like this film, then give it a like, share, and playlist it, and I'll see you later.